Live from the Texas Cheerlickers Studios, it's In the Building with Mike Taylor and Rudy J.
Gary meant this year he was old, not last year. You know, when you're over 80 years old, and you know, not the old man shame here, but I guess I am. When you get north of 80 years old, something happens to the mind. Something happens. And unless you're super lucky, but most people, the age of the Cowboys general manager, they forget time, you know. Every once in a while they have to be helped out, you know. They have to be told the day it is. Because when you live that long, there's some days where you're like, what the hell day is it? Is it Friday or is it Thursday? Oh, okay. Hell, I forget the day sometimes myself, and I just turned 50. So forgive Jerry Jones. He did not mean last year he was all in. He meant this year I'm all in. This is what you do when you're trying to be as good as you can possibly be and win as many games as you possibly can win. This is what you do. Good morning. It is In the Building. Rudy is out of the room today. It is just me and Bouquett, and we'll make the best of it. But Rudy picked a hell of a day to be out of the room today because as the Cowboys have threatened or alluded to or hinted anyway, they have decided to haul off and trade for a number 2 wide receiver who is the number 1 wide receiver on a handful of teams in this league, including Pittsburgh. Although when the Steelers traded for DK Metcalf, that pretty much spelled the end of the George Pickens tenure in Pittsburgh as a Steeler. And today, the Cowboys have traded for George Pickens. I repeat, your Cowboys have traded for George Pickens, the very talented, very young, goofy, at times immature, but always supremely talented George Pickens, who was the Steelers' second-round pick a couple of years ago out of Georgia. And he's been good for the Steelers, mostly, but ran out of favor. And if we know anything about the Pittsburgh Steelers, it is that they don't put up with bullshit from skill players when it comes to running backs and wide receivers. How many good running backs have come through Pittsburgh? You know, this is one of the reasons I respect Pittsburgh's organization so much. They don't have time for bullshit when it comes to running backs especially. They have epitomized my you don't need elite running backs theory for years. They bring in good running backs, they run them into the ground, and then right when that running back's ready to get paid, they ship them out and they don't give a dang. Wide receivers, similar. Last year the Steelers had Deontay Johnson. Not that he's George Pickens as far as talent goes, but they had Deontay Johnson, didn't want to pay him, didn't want to put up with anything, wanted to move on, didn't want him to get expensive, and they ship his ass out to Carolina, I think it was. And then a year later, you know, and this kid's young too. The Steelers still may regret this trade today. They may, because Pickens is a stud, talent-wise, but he was kind of a knucklehead a lot last year. Mike Tomlin had to call him out a couple of different times, saying that he needed to grow up fast. Had that meltdown game against Cincinnati in which he got double unsportsmanlike conduct penalties and then got fined heavily. Then he had that, remember the game in which there was a Hail Mary situation that he got involved with, and he's one of those typical diva wide receivers that is bitchy and is high maintenance and needs to learn to keep his emotions in check during games. So there's the Steelers. There's their perspective. They just decided to hell with it. Let's go trade for DK Metcalf. God knows who's going to throw passes to DK Metcalf in Pittsburgh this year. But it made George Pickens expendable. And frankly, if I'm a Steelers fan, which I am, I like the Steelers anyway, this is a hell of a risk to trade out a guy this young. Now, that's the Steelers' take. How about you Cowboy fan? We got us a number 2. We're ready to win playoff games now. How about that? No, I mean, I'm being goofy, but props to the Cowboys, man. This year, they're all in.
Okay. It just took a year, but, you know, it's fine.
I was talking about 25. I meant in every odd year, we're going to be all in. I didn't mean that was an even year. This is an odd year. So now we're all in. So the Cowboys are trading. This broke this morning, and now it's all over the news cycle. So it's happening. The Cowboys are trading a 3rd-round draft pick to the Steelers for George Pickens, who I think's 23, 24. He's a young kid who has maturity issues. It ain't like the Cowboys have not dealt with goofball wide receivers before. They can handle it. Hell, C.D. Lamb on occasion has brought drama. Well, his mama did anyway by bitching about Dak Prescott on Facebook last year. But it's no big deal in Dallas. They don't mind a little bit of drama when it comes to skill positions. And so the Cowboys today agreed to a multi-picks deal where they're going to get picks. The Steelers are going to wind up getting a pick or two. The word compensatory has been thrown out this morning. And what that means is this. And see, here's the risky part for Dallas. You just traded a 3rd-round pick, man. That's a high pick.
Yes, it is.
For a number 2 wide receiver. You know, that's a hell of a risk. And here's the deal. This kid's going to be a free agent at the end of the season. So are the Cowboys also going to announce that they have signed George Pickens to a multi-year contract extension today? Because what if they don't? They're just you're going to give up a 3rd to bring a kid in who may walk here in 6-7 months. They may be. You don't want that. But the Cowboys have put a compensatory label on this pick, which means the following: if they lose George Pickens, the way I read it, and I don't want to get bogged in with all the different paperwork, but the way I understand it is, if the Cowboys were to lose George at the end of this season, he goes off in free agency, then the Cowboys would get that 3rd-round pick back in 2026, is my understanding. All right, so it turns into a rent-a-guy for a year, but you get your pick back if you lose him. Or maybe he has a great year and you give him an extension. Hell, maybe they're going to extend him here pretty soon. You know, everything I've read was he wants $30 million. You ain't paying a number 2 wide receiver $30 million. So his choices are to come down to Dallas, play his ass off, stay out of trouble, work with C.D. Lamb, enjoy being a Cowboy, because God knows being a Cowboy is a hell of a lot different than being a Steeler. Stay out of trouble, have a good season, and go into free agency. Now, the Cowboys could always franchise tag George Pickens, I guess, next year when he's a free agent. But again, you don't want to have 2 wide receivers you're paying top 5 money to. You're already on the hook to pay C.D. Lamb $34 million. You ain't about to pay your number 2 guy $30. So it's a bit of an oddball trade from the money and the contract standpoint. And it's something that they're going to have to address for sure. It's something that still could be an issue later on. However, most of y'all don't give a shit about that. Y'all care about the here and now. So from a 2025 standpoint, you just brought in a hell of a talented number 2 wide receiver who is number 1 on a lot of teams. Hell, he may be the best number 2 wide receiver in football. So now all of a sudden you go from you don't have any running backs. You got 1 decent wide receiver. You got Dak Prescott coming off an injury. You don't have a right guard because he's the future Hall of Famer Zach Martin has retired. And you got buku holes in your offense. Buku holes in the offense. And then you have a draft. You draft a stud at right guard. Tyler Booker, I think, is going to be a multi-year Pro Bowler. I'm not saying he's going to be the next Zach Martin, but he's going to have a solid career at worst for the Cowboys. So you got that short up at right guard. You're hoping that Tyler Guyton, the left tackle who you drafted last year, the Oklahoma kid, can figure it out and get better in year number 2. You know you've got a Pro Bowler in Tyler Smith. I got a solid center in BB. God knows what Cibelo's own Terrence Steele's got left in the tank, but you have improved, or at least you replaced Zach Martin as best as you possibly could. You had no running backs. Bouquett, tell me who the running backs are again. I always forget. I need to learn who the Cowboys running backs are.
Jaden Blue, obviously.
Yeah, that's the one I do know. The dudes that they brought in free agency.
They got Javonte Williams.
And Miles Sanders.
Yes.
Javonte Williams. So you had no running backs 2 months ago. Now you have Javonte Williams. We'll see. You've got Miles Sanders, who's long in the tooth. We'll see.
Yeah, don't forget the legendary Phil Maffa.
Well, let's not forget Phil Maffa. How do you spell that? M-A-F-A-H?
Yeah.
Yeah, and where did they get him in the draft?
7th round pick out of Clemson.
It's a throwaway just to see. He's a body for now. But I do like the Jaden Blue pickup out of Texas in the 5th round. So now you've got 2 veteran running backs for super cheap. Maybe one of them has something coming. You got a electrifying talent in the 5th round from Texas in Jaden Blue, who needs to be able to stay healthy because he wasn't always healthy in Austin. You had nobody to catch passes outside of C.D. Lamb. They had shown faith and said good things about Jalen Tolbert, but I don't think any of us believed that Jalen Tolbert was ready for their number 2 wide receiver spot, and that's been proven out today with this trade. So now you go from Jalen Tolbert as your number 2 to George Pickens, who's got Pro Bowl talent. You go from we don't have a right guard to Tyler Booker, who's going to be a stud for a while. The Cowboys' offense has vastly improved. So I don't know what happens to Pickens long term. I don't know if he bails in free agency at the end of the year. He may hold out. He don't want anything to do. He wants to get paid. I don't think George Pickens wants to spend the rest of his career making number 2 wide receiver money behind C.D. Lamb in Dallas for the next 5 years. I just don't think that's the case. I think that this is probably a 1-year rental because the Cowboys still believe that Dak Prescott has what it takes with an improved offense and a defense that's still solid with a whole new coaching staff. They still believe that the Cowboys can chase a title, or else why bring in George Pickens when you may lose him at the end of the year, unless they've got something up their sleeves. And, oh, by the way, they still have not reached a contract extension with Micah Parsons. So there's the state of your Cowboys today. Lots of holes to fill. Lots of weaknesses. Lots of question marks. But are they better this morning, right now, on paper than they were yesterday? You bet your ass, because this kid, George Pickens, can play. Can absolutely play. I mentioned Mike Tomlin. Mike called him out a bunch last year to the media. Kid needs to grow up. Didn't call him a knucklehead, but he basically acted like a knucklehead too often last year. And the Steelers just don't play that bullshit. Okay. And I don't know that the city of Dallas and wearing that star on your helmet is necessarily the best place for an immature kid who acts like a knucklehead. I mean, hell, what are the odds George Pickens gets suspended this year? I'd lay it at 50-50.
Pretty high.
That's going,
pretty high.
50-50 George Pickens gets suspended at one point this year for acting like a dipshit on the field.
I will also guarantee he gets thrown out of a game at least once.
Well,
for fighting under corner.
Highly possible. I mean, he really is that volatile of a dude. He needs to really get his temper in order. And that shit's not going to fly in a room when you got C.D. Lamb and you've got leaders on that defense. And that coaching staff, I mean, in Pittsburgh, obviously, is a strong coaching staff, and Mike Tomlin got tired of the bullshit, which is strange to me. But, again, Pickens wants a lot of money, and they got DK Metcalf, and they're not going to give 2 wide receivers over the top money. Now, I don't think the Cowboys are either. Hell, they haven't even signed Micah Parsons yet. So it's a little bit peculiar from that standpoint, but as long as he's not getting suspended, as long as he's not, getting dragged out of a bar in Dallas, because all of a sudden now you go from being a Steeler to now you're a Cowboy and you're young and a bit immature and you've got issues when it comes to behavior and such. And now you're going to go live in Dallas where they got more strip clubs than churches. Good luck. But I will say this, from a pure entertainment standpoint, and y'all know I've changed my tune this year. I'm trying to enjoy the Cowboys football season. I have lowered my expectations. 10 wins is an awesome season. And that's the way I'm going to look at it. For too long, I let myself get too angry with these damn Cowboys when they underachieved in my perceived underachievement and what I thought underachievement looked like. For many years now, they pissed me off because they never live up to the expectation. Well, the way you compensate for that is you lower the expectation. And I used to have a saying years and years ago that I'm bringing back. I'm bringing this saying back. And the saying is, just entertain me, baby. So I absolutely hope they win a bunch of games. But if they don't win a bunch of games at least entertain me along the way. So if that means George Pickens gets busted in a bar fight in the club, great. That's entertainment, and it's great content. Or he goes apeshit and screams at Dak Prescott and throws a fit and slings his helmet 30 yards across the field, that's entertaining content. So it's just entertain me, baby. 10 wins or bust. Forget playoffs. Forget winning a bunch of games. It's just see if you can't win 10 games. You win 10 games, let's give everybody an extension and try to entertain me along the way. It is in the building. It is episode 321. Rudy is out of the room today. Should be back tomorrow. It is in the building, live from the Texas Cheer Studios at Pub Sports Radio in Southtown, Texas. The audio disseminator is Jose Bouquett. Like, share, please comment on our program. You can donate to us via the Super Chat. You can also jump in there and buy us coffee via the Buy Me a Coffee link, which I have no doubt Bookie will put on the chat if he hasn't already at some point today. Subscribe to us for free on Love You Hard TV. We're also on 2 other partners. We also run our show on Pub Sports Radio. Welcome all the dudes and women in here watching on the Pub Sports Radio side. And we're also ran every single morning on the Anthem TV app. And you can listen to the program on all of the major platforms through the Believe Podcast Network. We're on Spotify and iHeart and Apple and all of the other ones. And you can become a member of this thing if you want to. Be eligible to win different swag, different things we give away. If you're a member, we give stuff to the non-members too, but we save the good shit for the members. And you also get all of the exclusive members-only content that we produce, me and Rudy and Jose. You don't get to see those shows if you're not a member. It's only $4.99 a month. All right. Matter of fact, today, as far as incentive, somebody's already in here with some money. Rube is in the building. $4.99. Please confirm the boy's getting that pick back if he doesn't re-sign. God, I hope that's true. Doubt it, though. No, I think that's how the compensatory thing works. It's either they get the pick back or the pick moves to 2027. I need to confirm that. This trade just came down as I was driving over here. I need to look up my compensatory rules. See if you can't. And Jose's got a lot of shit he's got to do during our show. We almost need an intern in here at some point, you know. Go get that Taryn in here to be our intern. This is one of those I need some confirmation. How's the compensatory pick work? Which I think that means that if the Cowboys lose him at the end of the season, they either get that pick back in 26, but they lose it in 27. Now, if George Pickens stays on the Cowboys beyond this season, the Steelers get that 3rd-round pick in 2026. If he leaves, the Steelers don't get the Cowboys' number 3 pick till 2027. I think that's what that rule is, which means obviously the Cowboys needed help in the number 2 spot. They could still use another good slot wide receiver, honestly. But they were willing to take the risk on the 3rd-round pick for a kid they may lose at the end of the year. Okay. Thank you, Rube, for the money. That's 1 donation. We get 9 more donations today, 9 more tips, whether it's coffee or it is the Super Chat. I have 2 pair of VIP barbecue tickets here for the people.
Unwashed.
I have a whole new stack. I went by there yesterday. She gave me a whole new stack after I washed a shit ton of tickets in my pants pocket the other day because I left them in there. It's unfortunate. So I went and got 2 whole new crispy stack of tickets. I got 2 pair. The 10th and 11th person to tip today, Jose, scores a pair of VIP barbecue tickets. That makes sense? All right, so 10 and 11. So we got 1 tipper. It could be $1. It could be $100,000. We don't care. No matter how much you tip, the 10th and the 11th person are going to score a pair of barbecue tickets. All right, so we'll at the end of this hour, when we get done here, we'll see how many tips we got, and then we'll give number 10 and number 11 the pair of tickets. All right, big Cowboy news today with the trade. Dallas, I mentioned, is not exactly the best place if you're a knucklehead. This kid really needs to grow up. We all know that. George Pickens. He's a good player. He's a talented player. He has to know, whereas I'm sure he has a lot of value on himself, he's going into a new organization, a whole new set of guys. And what he needs to do is get his head on right, because he can't just come in here and take over the room, especially with a dynamic player like C.D. Lamb on the other side. So get your ass in there, play for a contract if nothing else, and do a good job. I also mentioned the other day, which is I'm very cautiously optimistic in the entertainment value of the Cowboys this year. I don't hate Brian Schottenheimer yet. Not yet. Anyway. I like Schottenheimer's approach so far. The players coach type, we're going to bring in a bunch of. Now, he also said the other day we're going to bring in character guys. You could ask him, hey, you said you want to bring in character guys, but you're bringing in a kid here who can't keep his head on right and always gets fined and getting his ass in trouble up in Pittsburgh. I don't think Schottenheimer, when he said character guys, I don't think he meant character guys necessarily off the field. What I think Schottenheimer meant when he said we want to bring in character guys are guys that are out there to kick ass on Sunday. No pansies, no bullshit. He wants committed professionals. I don't mean that the kid can't get in trouble off the field. I mean, and I have this old statement here when it comes to football players. I ain't looking for son-in-laws. I'm looking for badass football players that want to murder people on Sunday. That's what I'm looking for. Now that don't mean that you ain't going. That might mean you have to take a risk on a diva wide receiver on occasion. That might mean that you've got to give money to a Micah Parsons who runs his mouth all day long on a podcast and likes to throw folks under the bus and give his takes. Tough shit. As long as if the guy kicks ass on Sunday, isn't that all that matters? It's all that should matter to Cowboy fans. It's all that matters to me. I ain't looking for son-in-laws. George Pickens ain't going to come to my house, knock on my door, and date my daughter. He ain't going to come break bread with me. I don't give a shit what he does in his off time. I don't give a shit about his character off the field. I just want touchdowns on Sundays for the Dallas Cowboys.
How's your daughter, by the way?
She's doing very well, sir. Thank you for asking for the 17th time in the last 25 days.
Of course.
Aaron Knooper is in the building, $4.99. Let's build the tip list to move those barbecue tickets. Thank you, Aaron. Matt Bernard's in here in the building, $1.99, ready to run them tracks. What's he talking about? Horse racing?
Yeah, he wants horse racing.
Oh, he wants a horse race.
People are addicted,
I love it.
The rush and thrill of horses.
Exactly, but we can't be doing horse races for every time we give away something, because here's the theory on that. I'm like a crack dealer.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Got to keep them wanting.
Got to keep them wanting. You give them a couple of free tastes, and they love it. Then they start texting you. If you don't reply, they text you again 2 hours later. And if you don't reply, they start trying to find your email. Then they just fucking start calling you. Mm-hmm. Then you got to go out and get a burner phone. Now, the number they have is the burner phone to begin with, I should say. We're giving y'all a taste. Them horse races, we want to keep them things valuable. If I do a horse race every day, it's going to get old faster than I want it to.
Yeah, and we haven't even gotten to the dog races yet either.
The dog races? We have dog racing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that. Did you tell me about that?
I am now, I guess. So
yeah, I don't. Either I forgot or this is the first time I'm being informed of this.
This definitely might be the first time you're being informed. But we have dog races as well. We got to keep some things in the hopper,
All right.
It's like you can't show off all your moves and sex in the first go with your lady. You got to keep some things in the bag.
Correcto mundo. Yeah. Absolutely. We're not going to blow the whole wad.
Of course. Coaches don't use their trick plays on day one.
Correct.
I don't put my finger in the butt day one. You got to build up to this stuff. You got to, lead into it.
Right. You have to have missionary sex and nurturing,
of course,
loving, intimate sex.
Yeah, the horse race.
Then slowly start running those fingers and thumbs.
Mm-hmm. Of course. Then we can talk about the swimming races next, and then
all right,
go from there.
Okay. Look, that's your baby. This is your department.
Matt Bernard, by the way, is asking how much are the VIP tickets?
They're $25 a piece.
There you go, Matt.
Yeah, and I'm gonna give 2 away today simply for people that tip our show. They're $25 a piece. I met a guy yesterday, a member, as it were, 25-year-old kid. named David Salinas. It was very seedy. I met him at a Jim's parking lot on the corner of 410 and Broadway.
That sounds like a drug deal gone bad right there.
Yeah, but it was a VIP barbecue tickets giveaway because he scored a pair the other day. Somebody else just tipped us. Who it is? Okay, I say Aguirre, even though Nina gets on my ass. It's Aguirre. You know why I say Aguirre?
Roberto Aguirre?
No. Mark Aguirre,
Yep.
longtime Detroit Piston and Dallas Maverick.
Shout out to the Bad Boys.
Mark Aguirre. Yeah, he won a championship on those Bad Boys teams. He was an all-star with the Mavs in the 80s, wound up with the Pistons and won a championship with those Bad Boys. I say Aguirre. Jimmy Aguirre is in the building. $1.99, doing my part for the tickets, but bring back the ponies. See, that's a confident, strong man. He prefers the horses, but he understands we can't do it every day and still participates in the bid.
God bless.
That's a thinking man right there who's got some maturity. Bernard's in the building. What's up, Bernie? How you doing, man? Pickens literally showed no loyalty to the Steelers by going to the opposing team after the game and asking them to trade for him and rescue him from the Steelers. That might have been the most classless thing of the entire 2024 season. It really may have been. And that's saying something when you got, 50-some-odd dudes on 32 different teams. He's over there saying, rescue me to the other team. Maybe it's a Pittsburgh thing. Maybe he's happy as peaches on shit today to be a Cowboy. Maybe Mike Tomlin was too mean. Maybe he'll prefer the players, the visor cap backwards wearing shoddy to the hat down above the eyes, Mike Tomlin.
You would hate that if that came out. You would hate that. You would automatically be out on Pickens if he was like, yeah, Mike Tomlin, too mean.
Yeah, dude, that shows immaturity for sure. But we talk about the Cowboys here, Bouquett. So you have to your opinions have to change based on the company.
True, sure.
If I go over here to the dollar store across the street here, I know I'm not going to get no filet mignon up in there. I'm not going to get lobster thermidor, over here at the Dollar Tree. I'm going to get a can of tuna, some Cheez-Its, and a Diet Coke. But if I go over down the street over here to Rosario's, or I go down here to Michelin, I know I'm about to get me some 5-star, Michelin star fucking food. Things are different in Pittsburgh. Whatever you have to do that works within your culture is what you need to do. The Cowboys can handle a silly wide receiver. And I will guarantee you his ass ain't going to go over to the other team and ask to get traded because the Cowboys are going to coddle him. They're going to treat him like he's a stud. He's going to think he's back playing for Kirby Smart at Georgia again, getting his ass kissed. Mike Tomlin just don't kiss no ass. The Cowboys will. George Renteria is in the building. $10. Thank you, George. Mike, did Jerry Jones make you proud with his trade? Are you back on the Cowboys wagon? You know what? George, there is no wagon for me to jump off of. Now, I could get pissed off and I can renounce my fandom. I can leave, but I'm literally born in the city that they freaking play in. I'm born in the county that they play in for sure. Did Jerry make me proud? Yes. Are you back on their wagon? What does that mean? I'm going to say yes because, again, I don't expect the wagon to take me to the championship.
Adjusted expectations.
Correct. I have lowered all expectations. It's like, all right, cool. I get it. You're going to fuck other dudes on occasion.
Sure.
Sure. You're not gonna have your half of the rent about 4 times this year. I'm gonna wind up doing way more laundry than you do. But the sex is great because you're the Cowboys. And so these are the things that you have to accept and just, so the answer is, I'm on the wagon. I'm back on the Cowboy wagon, knowing that the wagon's a slut, knowing that the wagon's a massive tease, knowing that the wagon might bang my cousin. But it's okay as long as I get entertained along the way, George. So the answers are, it's a great trade, I suppose. For now, we'll see. And sure, entertain me. Just win 10 games and all is great. Ellis Rideout is in the building with a $5 deposit. Thank you, man. Can you go through the list of the barbecue teams? Are there still 30 other losing teams after the Marbach Miracles take first place? All right, Bouquett, remind me toward the end of the show to go over the teams. The answer is I have a list, but it's way the hell over here, man. Barbecue teams.
By the way, I will be bringing people to the barbecue contest as well.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm making them pay as well, Mike. So don't you worry.
What do you're out selling tickets on your own?
Well, to family members, yeah.
Oh, dude, I appreciate that.
Of course, yeah. My brother's from out of town. I told him, like, if you want to taste some good fucking barbecue, I've got a guy named Ellis in the fucking chat right now, and he's from fucking Marbach. They shoot each other up over there for fucking barbecue. So
wait till you meet Ellis. He's the least Marbachian you've ever seen. No, I appreciate that, Holmes. I appreciate you reaching out. This is a grassroots effort. We're a guerrilla marketing show. We always have been. I wouldn't know what to do with myself if all of a sudden I worked somewhere where we had like a promotions team and a marketing team. I wouldn't. I'm so used to doing it myself. So any help you can give me, dude, I appreciate that. Matter of fact, last night, so I've got where I live. I don't want to be too detailed, but I've got incarnate word baseball players that live in my building.
Sure.
And I decided to just go over there and be the nosy neighbor. I just walk up to their apartment because I noticed there was a couple of them in there.
Yeah.
They usually have 4 or 5 dudes up there on the patio hanging out. And I've been meaning to go up and introduce myself to them, but I just haven't had the opportunity. It just didn't work out. But yesterday, I'm like, to hell with it. There was 2 of them up there. And I just went up there and knocked on the door. Hey, man. And they recognize me because they see me every day because I live below them. Just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Mike. Do y'all play? I thought they may have been Trinity baseball players. I got it wrong. They play an incarnate word. And I'm like, okay, cool. I hear y'all talking ball all the time on your patio. Not that I'm eavesdropping, but I can't help from here because I like baseball and I'm a sports talk host.
This
are?
Is some old man shit right here.
I old man the shit out of them yesterday. All right, let's role play. You ready? You be them. You ready?
Sure. Hello?
Hey, I live below y'all. You recognize me, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, man, not to be too invasive or nosy, but I can't help from hearing you boys talking about ball all the time up on the patio. You boys play college baseball?
Yeah.
Oh, are you at Trinity?
No. Actually, we played the Cardinal, the incarnate word.
Okay.
The incarnate word.
And by the way, let me pause right here in our reenactment. So he's sitting there holding the door open, and I'm standing outside the door. At this point, I walk in without being invited.
Okay, hello?
I just walk in. Hey, I'm 50 now. I feel like I could just do whatever I want. I want to get me an El Jefe t-shirt, make my kids carry me around by the arm. No, I just walked in, and I'm like, hey, man. And once they realized that I do a podcast, though, sports podcast, then he perked up. All right, and then his roommate comes in from the other room. So shout out to the 2 of our newest, not members yet.
Subscribers?
We'll get them to become a member soon. We'll get them memberized before too long.
Yeah, they've got NIL money.
But right now they're subscribers. They may have NIL money. So shout out to 2 of our newest free subscribers on Love You Hard TV. A guy called Gus and a guy called Ashton. Shout out to Ashton and Gus.
Well, now you obviously know what we have to do.
Incarnate word baseball players. Don't put their names up. Let me get permission first. You can look them up, but don't flash their mugshot yet. Anyhow, I appreciate you growing this show.
Left-handed pitcher. Nice.
Which one? Ashton?
Gus.
Oh, Gus is a pitcher? What's Ashton? There's got to be only one Ashton on that team.
Odessa, Texas, by the way, Gus.
What's that?
Odessa, Texas.
Odessa. Okay, that's enough. Don't give away too much. I just met these kids, and they were kind enough to become subscribers. What do you call a man, Karen? A Ken?
Yeah, apparently so.
Kevin, Ken. Yeah, old man Ken comes up, and I basically invite myself into their apartment, stick a QR code in their face, pressure them to scan it. Is there an Ashton listed there?
I don't see one.
Interesting.
What about an Addison?
Oh, you know what? He may have said Addison. Crap. I can't see that roster you're looking at from this distance. I'll look at it here in a minute.
But that's good. Shout out to them. I'll be
rooting
for them now.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you out marketing the show and selling. I'm assuming you used a QR code. I can give you some hard copy tickets.
No, I need the hard copy tickets.
All right, I've got a shit ton. Brian Whitener's in the building. $5. Prayers up for my Arsenal in the Champions League semi today.
Brian, I hope your team gets shit pumped.
Okay,
Just
don't listen to
dominated.
him. Do you hate Arsenal?
Yeah, I don't like them.
Aren't you a Liverpool guy?
Yeah. I'm a big Liverpool guy. Soccer's my second favorite sport behind the Red Sox and baseball.
Okay, who's Arsenal playing today?
PSG.
Oh, okay.
They're up 1-0, I believe, in the two-leg tie.
Who are? Oh, going into the match.
Yeah, let me double check.
Okay.
Because it's a 1-0. Or no, they're down 1-0. I don't know. It's a 1-0. I forget what it is.
Don't
now.
be giving live scores because it's going to make people tune on our shit and go turn on their TV and watch other stuff.
Well, don't worry. You'd have a couple hours.
Good luck to Arsenal. Oh, they haven't started yet. Okay.
Yeah, no,
Good luck to Arsenal against PSG. PSG no longer has Messi. They don't even have Kylian Mbappe anymore.
Nope.
And they lost that pussy-ass Brazilian, Neymar, too. Yeah.
He is indeed in Brazil right now, just trying to collect checks.
Yeah, he's like that's their version of the Inter Miami or whatever, where he's playing down in Brazil.
Yeah.
How many donators have we had so far? Probably 7 or 8.
Wow, look at this guy counting. Yeah. He knows 7.
All right, cool. We need 3 more, and we'll start giving away barbecue tickets. All right, let me say this one more thing on Pickens, and we'll move on. Y'all can chat about Georgia if you want to. The Cowboys, there's all the things to consider with Pickens. Compensatory drafts, potential free agency, 50-50 chance he acts like a dipshit at least once this year. There's no questioning the Cowboys are absolutely more talented right now than they were last night when we all went to bed. I don't think that can be disputed, right? There's just no disputing that. So they're better. And I'll almost say something here that's probably going to rankle some people. Dak Prescott is the best quarterback he's ever played with. Is he not?
I would agree with that, yeah.
Now, he played with Russell Wilson last year, and Russ had a solid year, but Russ is not what he used to be. Dak also ain't what he used to be. And by the way, the Steelers have made no effort to bring Russ back, which only proved that Russ is such a douchebag that no one can stand his ass, even though he was solid for Pittsburgh last year and they went to the playoffs with him. That being said, Dak is the best quarterback Pickens will have ever played for. Poor Georgie. When Dak's the best guy you play for at this stage in Dak's career, just come in here, be a pro, keep your head on right, go get you a diaper for your mouth, quit letting all that crap fly out, and go into free agency next year and see if you can get a ridiculous contract from somebody. And maybe it's the Cowboys. Doubtful, but he's coming here for 1 year to play for an extension.
100%.
That's what he's doing.
Is this the best set of skill position players for Dak, too? Tight ends, maybe not running backs.
That he's ever had?
Wide receivers, I think so. I mean, obviously, CeeDee's been there forever, but is Amari Cooper better than George Pickens?
No, not at this stage. Well, now, Pickens, Amari was good for 2 years with Dak. Amari was really good for 2 years. Amari had big moments right up until the time that he pushed out in the playoff game against the Eagles and didn't go on the field for the game potential winning drive. Amari Cooper is what he is. It's arguably as talented a wide receiver core because of how good CeeDee Lamb now is, where CeeDee now is in the middle of his prime. So it's a good point, and it could be true.
Less excuses for Dak.
This could be Dak's best weapons. It's certainly the best quarterback that Pickens has ever played for. All right, the best in town is what we do. We try to be the best. We're the best podcast in town. We only deal with the best clients in town. Ribaldo Realty Group, the official real estate man of In the Building, is my guy, Jay Ribaldo. 2 brand new listings last week that he threw down. One is a subscriber, the house he has on Civilian. There's that one on Civilian right there. It's a 2-story house. A subscriber to this show listed it. This is the time of the year when sellers become very enthusiastic, because they don't want to fart around with trying to sell a house in the summer because they got stuff to do. Their kids are home. It's hot. People that list homes in the spring, they want to get them moved before the end of spring. So they're enthusiastic sellers. If you're looking for a home, go to Jay. Tell him you want to see all the specs on this house here. What's that other listing? I saw you flash one up a second ago. This one here is also in San Antonio on Lake House Drive. And both these houses are in the mid-200s. These are $400,000 houses in most other cities across the state and big cities.
Mm-hmm.
But in Bexar County, there are the twos. To go see all of Jay's stuff, it's his website, Ribaldo.com. You can call him at 210-887-1080. You can also email him at jribaldo@kw.com. jribaldo@kw.com.
By the way, I get people telling me from, like, obviously Pub Sports Radio is very worldly viewers, people from Canada and such.
Yeah,
and
man.
Those houses in Canada, the prices, oh my God, it's absurd.
Oh, yeah. I always use Austin as an example. Go back to that 2-story home you just had up there. If you already do still have it handy.
I do.
That home, what's that house right there in Toronto?
Oh,
$650?
yeah, for sure. It's over 500. It's over 500. I know that. I think the median over there is 500 as well, and it's like crazy. Like even renting a house there, it's hard to do.
Jimmy the Bag does his show out of Toronto. That's a $600,000 home in Toronto.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he'll have some takes on Toronto housing and such.
If
Canadian
them damn
housing.
liberals were so fucking smart, how come all their cities are the most expensive to live in? Think about that shit. All right. Let's get violent, shall we? It is In the Building on Love You Hard TV and Pub Sports Radio.
Now, it's time for People I Want to Punch on In the Building.
I want to punch Anthony Edwards. I said the other day, I said F Boston, F Cleveland, F Oklahoma City. I want to add a fourth team to my F off list, F Minnesota. They don't deserve to win. When your coach has to call you out for lack of effort after the opening game of a fucking second-round playoff series, you ain't about winning. AJ, what's Finch's name? Finch, the coach.
Chris?
AJ, who knows AJ? Chris Finch, the head coach at Minnesota, after the Timberwolves only scored 88 points on a night in which Steph Curry got hurt and missed half the game, still get their ass kicked by the Warriors. Finch, quote, "It starts with Ant. I thought he struggled." And then you could just kind of see the light go out for a little bit for a while. The light go out, which meant he quit. Edwards had 1 point at the half last night on 0 for 8 shooting. Okay, fine, you're not making shots. Don't check out of the game, though, but he did. Finch said, while addressing Anthony Edwards' lack of spirit, that this is not something he should be talking about in a postseason game. Quote, "What's there to talk about? You're the leader of the team. You've got to come out and set the tone. If your shot's not going, you still have to carry the energy. If I got to talk to guys about having the right energy coming into an opening second-round game, we're not on the same page here." Yeah, this is the same Anthony Edwards last week that had his entourage roll video on him while he shit-talked the Lakers walking back from the arena to the hotel in L.A. last week. Yeah, you weren't. Where's the videos last night, bud? I didn't see any videos get posted on your social media last night of you talking shit because you didn't have nothing and you quit on your fucking team. And unfortunately, they're probably going to win the series. We're probably going to find out today that Steph Curry's out multiple games because he messed up his hamstring last night. F Minnesota. So anybody but Cleveland, Oklahoma City, Boston, and Minnesota.
Wow.
Rudy wants villains, and maybe Anthony Edwards is that villain. Maybe, oh maybe. All right. Punch brought to you by Orlando Kell, the official family lawyer of this show. If you need a family lawyer on your team, it's O'Kill. Reach out to Orlando. The email is orlandokilllaw@gmail.com, or reach out to me. I will get you in contact, direct contact with Orlando Kill. Our attorneys and staff focus exclusively on family law and advocate for the things that matter. You, your family, and your future. It is Orlando Kill. All right, next segment brought to you by Slackers Bar and Grill, the official sports bar of our show. I want to call this segment, need some production value, so to speak here, Bouquet. Are you prepared for this segment?
Yeah.
With Rudy being out of the room today, I thought we would test some waters. We're going to call this Bouquet's Bets. Like it?
Yeah. That's a movie.
I thought about Bookie's Bets, because it sounds like Mookie Betts and you host a baseball show. But no, I like Bouquet's Bets. It's simpler and better. So what we're going to do from time to time is, because Jose hosts a bunch of, Jose produces and hosts shows that bet spreads, mostly. He's got a show on Pub Sports Radio called the Say Hey Podcast.
Say Hey Plays, yes.
And you just basically, the plays are betting on baseball.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be baseball. It can be anything.
I've got a hockey play for you.
Okay, very good. All right, I'm going to write these down because we're going to come back and check these. How many do you have?
I have 4.
Okay. So Bouquet's surefire bets for today. Hit me. Hit me.
All right, so we'll start with Diamond, because that's where I reign supreme.
Right. Where you reign supreme.
Yes, it's had a good day. But we'll
All
start with the game starting in about 15-ish minutes.
Okay.
You guys want some action early in your day. Washington Nationals.
Answer.
Plus 103 on the money line. I like the bet today. I'm a very market-oriented bettor, Mike, and if you listen to this, you'll understand where I get. But I look at where the bets and the bigger bets are and determine where the line is, what I like.
Okay.
So, there are 74% of the bets on the Cleveland Guardians today, but 64% of the money are on the Washington Nationals. Excuse me. Bigger bets are on the Nationals.
Okay.
Line from minus 125 up at minus 135 and has dropped to minus 140.
I don't understand just about anything you just said.
I understand that, but
Your boss is in there telling you to use your balls and speak louder, please.
sorry, Chuck.
All right, so Nationals.
Yeah,
Give me 3 more.
Nationals
Go.
money line. They're pitching, by the way, if people wondering, it's Logan Allen versus Mike Soroka.
We don't care. Give me
Braves
your
fan.
picks. I told your boy Jimmy I'd get to him early today.
That's
You don't.
true.
If you take 17 minutes of this segment, we're not. All right, go ahead.
He would appreciate it. Tampa Bay Rays money line
Rays.
plus 109.
Okay.
Same situation.
All right. Next.
Baltimore Orioles with Charlie Morton on the mound, who is only a few years younger than you, Mike.
The great Charlie Morton, former World Series stud.
0-8 this year when the Baltimore Orioles have him on the mound. 0-8. And today they
That's
get the win
unfortunate.
today.
Oh, you're picking the Orioles.
Oh, yeah. They get the win today with Charlie Morton. He figured his shit out. He went to the bullpen, got
All
what
right.
he needed. Now they win today.
All right.
And
What-
finally,
And what's your hockey pick?
the Dallas Stars to win tonight, minus 110. I know you like this, of course. You're a big hockey guy. I think the Dallas Stars win the Stanley Cup this year. I have
Don't be saying
future
that kind of
bets
shit.
on the Oilers,
Don't be saying that.
but I think the Dallas Stars are really good.
Thank you. They are very good. All right, thank you. Bouquet's Bets. Quick to the point. See? It's good. Presented by the official sports bar of In the Building. If you're looking for a cool place and maybe after work today or whenever to go tie one on, I can scarcely think of a better place to go watch afternoon baseball or whatever it is. That little happy hour action at any one of the 5 area. In San Antonio, anyway. Slackers Sports Bars. Got the 281 in Thousand Oaks, the one by North Star Mall on Rector. You got the one on Nacogdoches. You got the one in the Med Center on Fred Road, and you got the one near downtown San Antonio on St. Mary's. It is Slackers, the official sports bar of In the Building. All right, next segment brought to you by GC Roofing and Lone Star Nano Services. What's on the run sheet today? Oh, the vodka salute. Let's hold off on that till tomorrow. Let's
Okay.
hold off on that.
Rudy will appreciate that.
Yeah, Rudy will appreciate that. That's his baby. So what was next on the run sheet? I'm letting Bouquet produce today. What is it? I'm actually going to do this.
The quick kicks.
Oh, yeah, okay. Just a few things to kill our show with. Yeah, I mean, that's obviously the big news of the day is the George Pickens to the Cowboys trade. I punched Anthony Edwards. I want to punch every Cleveland mouth breather
Oh, my
that
God.
screamed overrated last night during their loss to the Pacers. As Tyrese Halliburton shoves it up the Cleveland fans' yin-yangs who chanted overrated all night long with a game-winning 3 as Indy takes both of the first 2 games of that playoff series on the road in Cleveland, a.k.a. the mistake by the lake, the joke-choked city, the wasteland of the West, the shit bag of the Rust Belt. LeBron James is from there and left twice. It's one thing to leave your hometown. Homeboy, he left twice. And Halliburton had the last laugh, and Indy now has their asses on the ropes after winning both road games to start that series. A player poll came out a couple of weeks ago. Like, the players said that Halliburton was the most overrated player in the NBA. And Tyrese has been kicking ass ever since that poll came out. And then you got the fans last night screaming overrated. And Halliburton whooped their ass. Only weird thing is he looks like that turtle pervert Shock G who played Humpty. You never heard of him until we mentioned him yesterday.
Yeah, I still don't know who it is.
All right, go listen to the Humpty Dance today in the car. Write this down, Humpty Dance by Digital Underground. It was a spoof rap song by a guy that founded Digital Underground who actually discovered Tupac. But so there was a guy, Shock G.
Yeah,
He was a legit rapper. But in the early 90s, and all my Gen X betters are like, can't believe Jose hasn't heard this story. He's young. He's young. Don't bag on him. In the early 90s, Shock G of Digital Underground released a spoof rap song as a joke. Even had like a fake nose on his face and released it as Humpty. And and you'll like it. He talks about eating ass in this song. Yeah, you'll love it.
Interesting. He looks crazy, but just
And the reason I bring up Humpty is because Tyrese Halliburton looks like Humpty. He looks like Shock G in the face. I don't know that he's the same turtle pervert that Shock G was, but Halliburton certainly is. He was dancing all over those idiots in Cleveland last night. What else? Hopefully,
by the way,
we'll get,
I think Halliburton kind of looked like this.
Halliburton didn't look like that. Oh my God. That guy right there is not overrated. He is not overrated. He's
definitely proven it not to be right.
No, I'm not right. I'm not overrated and not good. I hope we get good news on Steph Curry today. Honestly, it doesn't look good though. You start fucking around with a hamstring, and for him to come out of a playoff game because of it, Steve Kerr was saying last night because it's a hamstring, they're already anticipating that he won't play in game 2. I mean, he may be done here for multiple games, which totally sucks. Totally opens the door for that spoiled-ass brat Minnesota, Anthony Edwards.
You've gone all anti-Anthony Edwards now.
He's a punk. He's an asshole. He's a punk. He has no control of his emotions.
That's true.
Last week, he's literally shit-talking, having his homies post video of him talking shit about the Lakers. Fast forward to this week, and now his team's getting beat, and he checks out of a game. Okay, that's punk-assery right there. It's punk-assery. He's young. He's 23 or whatever, so there's time to grow up. But there's a lot of 23-year-olds that play in the NBA. They don't need time to grow up. So I don't even like to give these he's like George Pickens. He's young. That only goes so far with me. Because then you'd see other kids that play in the league that are the same age as these guys, and they don't have these fucking emotional problems. So it makes it harder to give them that mulligan. But whatever. All 4 road teams, by the way, won opening round playoff games in the second round of the NBA. It's crazy. It's never been done before. I think it points toward the parity that the NBA has. The NBA has never been closer as far as the elites and the pretty goods go. There used to be 2 or 3 elites, and then you had 5 or 6 at the bottom that were shit, and then everybody else was just a team with no chance. Now you've got 3 or 4, 5 teams that have a chance to win the championship this year. I guess that's a good thing for the NBA. All right, big thanks to our boys at GC and our boys at Lone Star Nano Services. They serve San Antonio and Corpus Christi. They do homes, businesses. 15 years GC's been in business. Lone Star Nano Service is their new partner. They will come and treat a roof too. You can hit them up at gcservicesroofing.com. You can Google Lone Star Nano Services. They provide roof rejuvenation. They also do concrete. They treat asphalt roofs. They do wood, nanotechnology. Their application, it's a miracle. That way you don't have to worry about damage from the volatile weather in the state of Texas, or wind, water, heat, hail, all the shit we have in Texas. And if you do business with GC/Lone Star Nano, they will pay for your deductible up to $1,000. They will cover the deductible up to $1,000. All right, we'll get out of here on this note here, and then did we get to 10?
No, it's a good
I
question.
don't know that we
I don't
got
think
to 10.
I think we're stuck at 7.
All right. We may have to do, you know what? If we don't get to 10, we'll stick, how many ever we do get, we'll stick them in a horse race and do it tomorrow. You want to do that?
Sure.
All right. Horse race. Because the bit was 10. We don't get to 10. You ain't giving no ticky, no chicky, whatever the saying is. Whatever it is. All right.
7 it is confirmed.
All right.
Now.
7. Put those 7 dudes, unless somebody donates right now or we get 3. Right now, before we get off, I'm giving people time. I'm like Jerry Lewis doing a telethon. Right now, we're planning on a horse race to give these 2 pair of tickets away. All right. Show also presented in part by Texas Cheer Liquor. 7 locations in and around San Antonio, and you got one up in Bernie, Texas, too. All right. Hot sports opinion here on Paul Skeens. By the way, did you see the fan yesterday? Not the fan get into a fight with an usher in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, a guy got his ass kicked.
What is going on with these dipshit fans in Pittsburgh?
I mean, that's just Pittsburgh.
Getting too drunk? Getting too hammered?
They're like cousins with Philadelphia.
Got these mouth breathers in Pittsburgh. One dumbass gets so drunk the other night, he falls off the bleachers and damn near kills himself.
Yes.
He still has a long road to recovery, although the kid's up walking around. Some dipshit got so drunk he literally falls 21 feet to the field. And then yesterday, you get some jackass fan that's being unruly and the usher's just trying to do his job, and the fan jumps on the usher. Did you see the video?
Yes.
The usher takes off his belt and literally spanks the fan on the ass and the legs. It was great. And where were the cops? I watched the video's like 7 minutes long.
Yeah, it's a long-ass video.
Like, are there any cops at all that go to Pirates games? The Pirates need to do a better job here with maybe security or police presence at their games. By the way, Paul Skeens is so good, and he's going to wind up being the Mike Trout of pitching if he doesn't get the fuck out of Pittsburgh. Yep. The Pittsburgh Pirates are one of the shitbag organizations in sports. They don't care about winning. They don't have any inclination of ever winning a World Series. They're cheap bastards. They got the gods gifted them Paul Skeens. Sell all the Paul Skeens jerseys you can, and hopefully the second that kid can get the hell out of that shitbag organization and go to somebody who's serious about winning, he will. Good for Paul. I'll be happy for Paul Skeens. I love watching him pitch. He's such a stud. He's so talented. But pitching in Pittsburgh, he ain't never going to pitch in the postseason, ever.
Nope, bet against him and won last night.
That's right.
So
Nut Fico. You bet against him and you won money last night? Well,
yeah, God bless
he's
him.
but a shitty organization. Nut Fico in here, $199 horse race. That's only 8, though.
That is true.
That's only 8, though. All right.
8, 9, and 10.
All right, that's going to have to be how it ends. We're going to have 8. So put those 8 in our horse race mañana, and we'll give the 2 that win, we'll give them a pair of barbecue tickets, VIP hookups, tomorrow. All right, that's it. We're done. Appreciate y'all hard. Go Cowboys. I'm back on. 10 wins or entertain me with violence and buffoonery. Just entertain me, baby. That's all I care about. Hell, I might go buy me a Cowboy shirt. I've changed my tune because I've lowered my expectations. You don't expect much. The rewards are aplenty. That's it. We're done. Thank you all for watching us on Love You Hard TV. Thank you for our guys that watch us on Anthem TV. If you're watching on Pub Sports Radio, Jimmy the Bag is up next. Love y'all hard. See y'all back in here on In the Building. Mañana.